Hey everyone, and welcome to Bite-Sized Tactics. In this video, I wanted to have a look at the Parasite of Mortrex, a pretty interesting character for the Tyranid army, and one that I think is somewhat overlooked. Now, the profile doesn't look like much. It's got a toughness 5, which is okay, with a 4 plus armor save, which isn't great, and a pretty standard 5 wounds for characters. It's got an A plus leadership, which is standard for Tyranid units, and an OC of 1, which isn't great, but can't be too surprised by that. But its movement of 12 inches is really, really good, and currently costs only 80 points. So there's a lot of keywords and abilities that the Parasite of Mortrex has. Starting with the infantry keyword, which is probably important for abilities and stratagems throughout the game, and then it also has a Vanguard Invader keyword, which is important for the Vanguard Onslaught detachment. Finally, the character keyword is important as it allows this unit to have enhancements. Now for the abilities. It has Deep Strike, Lone Operative, and the Stealth Core abilities. So that's a lot, and it's really good for its playstyle. It also has a few inbuilt ones. The first one is Parasitic Infection, and basically after this unit kills an infantry model with a certain weapon, the Barbed Ovipositor, you can make one new Ripper Swarm unit with D3 models in it. And then finally, it has It Itches, and basically at the start of the fight phase, you choose an enemy unit that's in engagement range to take a Battle Shock test. The Parasite of Mortrex has no ranged weapons, but has two close combat weapons. The first one is that Barbed Ovipositor. It has Anti-Infantry 3+, and it has a pretty low strength of 3, so it won't be wounding much else, but with a minus 2 AP and flat 3 damage, it's pretty much good at killing any infantry model you come across, so that you can get your Ripper Swarms. Also, it has the Clawed Limbs, and it's got an okay strength of 5, minus 1 AP and does 1 damage, and with 6 attacks, it's pretty good against like a light infantry squad, but that would be about it. Looking at its weaknesses, its durability from the profile, it isn't fantastic. Torrent weapons are really bad for this unit as well, and it doesn't have the strongest weapons either, so you're really only limited to attacking infantry units. Any anti-fly or anti-infantry weapons, or basically any weapons with any AP within 12 inches of you, is going to be really bad and will kill you pretty quickly. Devastating or mortal wounds are also going to be a problem, and being cornered and having to deal with combat efficient units could be also very problematic for the Parasite of Mortrex. The Parasite of Mortrex is decent against infantry, and its ability to generate Ripper Swarms can be really good for primary denial in certain situations. It can also get enhancements, and that makes it much more usable. Having Lone Operative and Stealth is also really good for its survivability, as it can't be targeted outside of 12 inches, and always having minus 1 to hit is very good. It's also a very mobile and independent unit, so it could be good to use for doing secondaries with. And it is quite good in a lot of detachments as well. Looking at the mission play, the Parasite of Mortrex doesn't have a very specific way in playing the mission. In the Invasion Fleet and Vanguard Onslaught detachments, they can be given many different enhancements for redeploys, battle shock tests, and a few others, but ultimately you just want to keep this unit alive so it can do secondaries around the board while using its Deep Strike ability. And in the Vanguard Onslaught detachment, you could always bring it back up into strategic reserves and then back down wherever you need it. And it can't be targeted outside of 12, so there's some good plays there. However, in the Assimilation Swarm, it's quite different, as this unit can then make Ripper Swarms and then regenerate wounds to itself or other units nearby, and just in general, being able to make Ripper Swarms and put them within engagement range of enemy models is quite handy as it halves their OC. So it's a nice little synergy there. So there's not that many helpful units for the Parasite of Mortrex, to be honest. A Neurotyrant might be great for Synapse. The Venomthropes for the benefit of cover, the Zoanthropes for a 6 plus invulnerable save, maybe the Psychophage if you get close enough, and there are other models that you could benefit from. Probably the main one would be those Ripper Swarms though, but you need other units around the Parasite of Mortrex to really take that to its full advantage. So it's going to be very situational here. So just be aware of the abilities of your friendly units. So for my verdict, I think it's actually quite a unique unit that can be quite useful as an independent model, and it can take some pretty strong enhancements, especially for redeploys, and it is quite a cheap character in the Tyranid book. And to be quite honest, it's probably more for those experienced players that just know what they're looking for. Or just maybe if you're a hobbyist and you think it's a really cool model and you just want to paint it, go ahead. I think it'd be really cool. But if you're a beginner, you're probably going to stay clear of the character. But I think in the hands of a really good player, the Parasite of Mortrex could be very fun and flavorful and be quite a problem for your opponent, as they wouldn't expect it to be such an issue. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, click the like button. Comment what you think the Parasite of Mortrex, whether you think you'd put it in there, or if you just think it's utterly hopeless. And if you like the content, subscribe for more.